Y'all believe it or not, I'm still washing clothes. I cut this washer on at 5 o'clock, and here it is 7. So I tried to unplug it and put it on this rinse and spin, but I can't afford no washer and dryer right now. I just gotta keep on doing what I'm doing, I guess. And y'all, I'm on TikTok as we speak or whatever, because like I said, I wouldn't put these clothes on rinse and spin, hoping that they at least rinse out and I can transfer them over. But I'm on TikTok, and boy, up and down my news feed, this economy is something else here. It's so many stories that I didn't watch with people going through, like this guy had got a raise, and he said he was happy, he was thanking the job and this and that, and he was adding up the money for the raise where he could, finally free up some things and use the raise money towards a couple of things over here and there. He said when he got his check, basically it was the same because they didn't do nothing but take out more taxes, and he was messed up about that. It was a lady on here that's sleeping in her car. She said she just got hired for Coca-Cola, and she ended up getting fired because she had a cat in her car, because she's sleeping in her car, and the windows was down, and the cat had food and water in there, and of course you could imagine what happened. Somebody reported her. You already know that. People don't know how to mind their own business, and people just trying to get ahead, and she had already lost her kids, and she didn't have no food, and she was just talking about how she was tired and she was ready to pull the trigger, but she didn't have the courage to do it. Oh my God, I saw so many stories on here. I can't even remember what all I done saw, but it's just been so many stories with all these men and these women that's going through things, due to the economy, and people reminiscing about how a 2-bedroom, used to be $500. I remember my father telling us the 2-bedroom that we had with the basement, I think he said that was $325. And just all kind of stuff going on. Now this is a thing, right? I've been also seeing where, a lot of people is on here saying that, how we should take our government back and, get funky with them, and everybody should stop working. And if everybody would stop working within 72 hours, it would be a turnaround. But how everybody's scared to do it or to stop paying their bills or whatever. Well, there was a guy on there, he was just talking about how over there, I believe he said in Italy, I believe he said, that they was doing the same thing to them, and all of them did band together over there, and I guess they stopped working. And he said somebody, I know he said they was taking their bills to the middle of the street and they was burning their bills, and they was saying they wasn't paying nothing until they fixed the system. And I guess they ended up fixing the system and turning it around. And then he was saying this had also happened over there in Africa, and something happened with their system or whatever, and they start kicking people out their country, and they start bucking back, and they got turned around. But how we the only ones this scared to come together and unite and bug back at the system, and it's gonna forever be like this until that happens or whatever. So this is happening in different countries, but I guess we the Americans, we the only ones that ain't bucking back or whatever. But I don't know, he was saying the people that was over there in Italy, they wasn't even really suppressed like us. They didn't really, it wasn't even that serious with them, but just the fact that the system was trying to try it with them. And they all got together and came together or whatever. And like I said, started burning their bills in Mill Street. And all of them said they wasn't going to work or whatever. I don't know how, how they doing it or whatever, but they did it in Africa and in Italy or whatever. I wish we could do that, but I know I mean some people just ain't gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to do that. You know. It's a hurting thing, all this stuff going on around here and all this stuff happening to people. And one bedroom apartment that really only worth $525 or whatever, you able to charge $1,800 and all of this kind of carrying on, and the gas prices, the food and all. It's just crazy how this type of stuff is even able to go on. But it's going on and ain't nothing nobody can do about it. And everybody want to still, sit around and blame everybody about who voted and put, him back in the office and this and that. As far as I can understand, just speaking from, my mind frame, that's a done deal. At this point, ain't no need of blaming nobody or hollering what you did or what y'all did, because the point remains is that he's in there and he's doing what he's doing and everybody's going through it. That's the point that needs to be looked at right now, and what can be done as of now or going forward. It don't matter that he's in there. Can't nobody turn around tomorrow and get him out of there. So, what can you do? Ain't no need to talk about no past stuff. He in there. It's about today and moving forward, or if anybody trying to get him out of there, I don't know. That's where we need to start at, or whatever. But like I said, it's happening. It's going down. Ain't no need to point no fingers now. The main thing is to figure out how to get some food on the table. The main thing is to find out how to get a decent paying job. The main thing, is how to keep a roof over your head. The main thing is how to get the kids to daycare. That's the main thing. College graduates on here talking, they in a bad situation. They in a bad spot for somebody that, didn't went to school as long as they didn't went to school, and they ain't even getting the money that they supposed to be getting, or then got pushed out of their position due to budget cuts, and because they was making the most. And that's normally how it goes. A person in a company that's making the most money, that that's got most zeros, when they go to cut, that's who neck they finna cut off, because they know they could take that money and put it back into the budget, put it back into the pot, hire somebody, bring them in off the streets, pay them half of what the other person was getting. They pocket the other half. The person that's coming in off the streets, they gonna think that they got a deal going because they done got handed, $15, not knowing that this was a $30 job, and not knowing that the other person was making $30, and they took the other half of the money and put it back in the pocket, and giving them 15. But see, if they coming off the streets from no job, or they coming off the streets from another job and they was only making $8 or $9, well, hell, you offered them a $15 job, they think they came up in the world. You see what I'm saying? People only know where they come in at. That's the thing. They only know about where they come in at. You know what I'm saying? If they was only making $8 or $9 and you say this job started at $15 and this $4 or $5 more on to what they've been making, well, you introducing them to another world and they ain't even knowing it was a higher world above that one. It's another $15 missing. You know. But I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I hate to keep going on. All I know, you have to stay wrapped up in prayer, and then, a lot of people on here, they mad with Father like all of this his fault, talking about their lives is already written out, not pertaining just to this, but just different situations. He know their life from beginning to end and this and that and that and this, It's just a big old mess. But regardless, even when you mad at him, you still have to stay wrapped up in prayer and stay connected to him, because the thing is, you don't know what invisible forces he fighting for you, or keeping, getting close to you, or keeping what dangers is amongst you, and you don't know nothing about him. So those that's frustrated with him, it wouldn't do you no good to separate from him, because you don't know what he fighting that you can't see. And this is mostly spiritual. I'm just talking. I don't know. It's a mess. I know that. That's like I said, I ain't never seen so many people sleeping in their cars and stuff like this. And then it's like this is how this shit really works, y'all. When there's an answer that can solve the problem, they terminate and execute the answer. Just like this TikTok, before it got shut down, it was eliminating all these problems. See, that's why America wanted it. It was about control. It wasn't nothing about no identification, none of this stuff that they said it was about. Before this thing got shut down, it had this blackout. People was homeless. People was sending money all over the place, and people was getting out of their cars. They was going into apartments. People was hungry. People was cash apping people. People was feeding people. They was getting people off the streets. People saying they need some money for some clothes. They got an interview next week. People was cash apping them. See, that's what the problem was right there. That's why America jumped in and got a hold on this shit. Now you mean to tell me the things that were starting to finally solve America's problems is the one thing they went after and dismantled, to now we back where we is again. People was getting on the app crying, they was $200 and $300 short on their mortgage, on their rent. People was banding together from all over the world, cash apping these people, getting these people back together. You was cash apping people saying they was hungry. They shoot a video. You see them in there going to get a hot meal. A lot of times, a lot of these people wasn't lying about them needing help. And we was banding together helping these people, whether it been tapping their screen, whether it been praying for them, whether it was kind words, whether it was actually sending the money. We all was getting involved. See, they don't like when you get involved and you solve problems. Because if you ain't solving no problem, the more problems you solving, the more money you taking out their pocket. Here it is. All of us was coming together, getting people off the streets, getting people out their cars, getting them all together. Now, if we could do that in a little span that TikTok has been around, all these people, you mean to tell me all these people that's been homeless, all these people that's been hungry, all these people that ain't got no job, they the damn government. And they ain't did nothing in all this time but watch them die on the side of the road, watch them be hungry, watch them never get nothing going. When they got all the power to do something, get them to a shelter, anything. We passed the shelter. Hell, we was getting them in houses. But they stopped that. And that was the answer. That Chinese TikTok app, that was the answer there. Once they saw how we started coming together and how efficient we was and how serious we was about what nobody gonna be on those streets, what no veterans gonna be not cared for, whatever the deal was, when we all start coming together and moving and start cleaning up what they know they ain't doing. See, we turned the light on them. We flashed the light on them. They didn't like that. So now they done came in and start dismantling us and breaking it apart and re-breaking the system. So now we can't get to nothing. Halfway can't nobody get to us. Now it's beggars and all of this and that. And it's going to be beggars or bad apples with anything. With anything. It's going to be good and bad with anything that comes along with anything you do. It's pros and cons to everything. It ain't nothing 100% smooth sailing. It ain't never been. But just the fact we was able to start cleaning some stuff up all around the world, all around the country with just a tap of the mouse, just a push of the Cash App. What's your Cash App? It was that easy. Now, that feature gone. But see, it's gone because we didn't need them. They noticed we was getting independent on ourselves. See, we was damn near running back into the barter system. They noticed that we didn't need them. So they got up in there and they broke that shit up and they broke that shit apart. Now they got this American app on here. Now it's going back to what it was. But that Chinese app was the answer. I just hate that people going through this, and everybody has problems in their house. I don't care who getting on here making it look good. Some people getting on here making it look good, and they got to take them clothes back tomorrow with them tags still in them. They got to take them shoes back. They got to make sure they don't step outside in them shoes. They got to wear them shoes on the carpet. I don't care. People... folks getting divorced, folks missing, people having problems in their house on every angle, y'all. I don't care about this hair pressing. I don't care about this makeup. I don't care about this kissing in front of the camera when that motherfucker go off them some bitches throwing blows. Don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. Don't do it. Don't be convinced that everybody living a better life than you. That ain't what's happening. At this point, we all about on the same level. At this point, as long as they making you spend more than what you've been spending, as long as they making you lose more than what you've been losing, at this point, you on the same level with everybody. At this point, it ain't no poor, medium, and high class. We all the same class. You losing $500, $600, $700 more than what you've been having in your account. You ain't winning, you losing. You just winning on your level. You see what I'm saying? But you've been broken down. And it's coming all the way down the food chain. Don't be deceived about these folks getting on here, music bumping in the background, making it look good. Anybody can cut on some music, baby, get the nod in their head and make it look good. And then as soon as the music go off, as soon as the song go off and they get off of there and hit that end button, they throw it up in the corner crying somewhere. Don't be fooled. Y'all, all we can do is stay close to God regardless of how you feel. Get on your knees and thank him. Thank him for what he about to do. Thank him for what he has not allowed to happen to you, regardless of how you feel. And I'm talking to who I'm talking to, because like I said, I ain't never trying to push my father off on nobody. But what I am saying for the ones that I'm talking to, please stay in contact with God, whether you feel like he hear you and he ain't answering you, whether you feel like he hear you or he don't, or whatever you feel like the issue is, you ain't getting no answer. Just stay connected, because it is too raw and too rough out here for you not to have some type of protection, some type of word, or some type of shield over your ass. I love you. I'm finna get on my knees right now after I get over here. Bye.